Hello, this is Arash Vasugi. I have been in San Diego, California for the past week. I was playing golf the other day, and I had a great conversation with a good friend of mine, and it really sparked this video. I wanted to share it with you. I learned about this, oh goodness, probably about 16, 17 years ago that I implemented this strategy in my life. He kept telling me, you know, all I keep seeing is rabbits everywhere. Why am I seeing rabbits? And you're probably watching this saying, what is this video about? He's talking about rabbits. Well, I'm talking about creation in general, especially to how to create a world-class life. And I said, oh, it's very simple why you're seeing rabbits everywhere. I said, in your brain, you have a system inside of your brain. It's called the reticular activating system. It's RAS. And you can research this for yourself. And the reticular activating system is for motivation, for arousal, and that's how our brain works. But what it is our personal Google system. Now I'm going to show you some strategies that I implemented on how to not just develop it, how to use it as a competitive advantage for me consciously. Now, if anyone has ever been pregnant or they found out their wife was pregnant for the first time, they will notice pregnant women everywhere. I know I did when my wife first got pregnant. And then think about a car. You really like a car, then all of a sudden you see that car driving everywhere. That's your reticular activating system at work. Now, how does it apply to goals? This is where focus. Think about this. The reticular activating system is impersonal, it's neutral, it's your own personal Google system. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to get so good at developing your focus. And you're focusing on what you want more than anything all day long. I talk a lot about what you want. And it always goes back to my mentor. Anytime we would talk, he would say, what is it that you really want? Now, in the beginning, I was like, he keeps asking me the same question. It is the most important question to have on the forefront in our reticular activating system. Because remember, it's our personal Google, and once you're focusing on it, you're going to start seeing solutions of how to achieve that over and over again. And how do we develop focus? We develop it with one of our higher faculties, our will. Our will holds one idea on the screen of our mind without the distraction of any other idea. I could have all these things going on and you won't even recognize it. I actually did another video that we're going to release where you'll see there were so many distractions around me, but I was just focused on how I can develop value for all of you. And it was like nobody else was around. And that's because I've developed that faculty. Now, our higher faculties create our environment. So let's look at my result. Let's look at your result. Those are all have become your result because of how you have been using your higher faculties either consciously or unconsciously. You know, that's your will, your perception, your memory, your intuition, your imagination, and your reasoning. Today we're talking about how to use your own personal Google system that you have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year at your disposal. But most people, if you ask them what it is, they would have no idea. If you ask most people, can you talk to me a little bit about your higher faculties? They would have no idea. I'm talking even the more advanced achiever. They'll have no idea. See, at Voss Coaching Co., what I want to do and what my company stands for is helping people get results. Now, what is the biggest key of getting results? You're focusing all day long on what it is you really want. You're activating that reticular activating system. I want it activated for you within an instant. You just snap your fingers, you can go there. And our job is to put all our energy, all our attention, and if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I talk about mental rehearsing a lot, where we're talking about thinking from the end, thinking from the goal. How would that person think? And you think that way all day long. Well, imagine how much that's activating that reticular activating system just by thinking. Then it's feeling. The feeling is the key. Your feeling is going to alter your vibration. How you're feeling good, am I feeling good, am I feeling great, or am I feeling bad? And then you have to step out and act. That's a 3-step process, and there's a couple things that is. That's learning. Learning is getting intellectually involved with the idea. So I want to really activate the reticular activating system. That's my own personal Google, but I'm going to use it for me instead of stop focusing what I don't want. Then I get emotionally involved with that idea and I say, listen, this is going to be a game changer. I'm absolutely going to do this. That's emotionally involved. Then I step out and act, and I start following those quote unquote, this came out of the blue. It didn't come out of the blue. It came out of your thinking. It came out of your feeling, and now you step out and act. See, the biggest misnomer, they used to say, I remember when I first started studying this information, this was before YouTube was so prominent, all social media was so prominent. They used to say, knowledge is power. Knowledge isn't power. What is power is implementation of that knowledge. That's called learning. You're implementing it, and you're activating your reticular activating system. If you don't believe me, try it. Start focusing like my good friend did on a rabbit. Watch that you're going to start seeing rabbits everywhere. Focus on a car you like. Focus on things that are smaller, and watch how that'll keep showing up in your life. Now, how do you do this? Is you've got to put this at the forefront of your attention. And attention is key. We have to have intent. What is intent? Intent is really frequency of thought. That's what intention is. And we put a lot of attention. We get so monomaniacally focused on only accepting what we want and rejecting what we don't want. I put out a video, I don't know when it was, a couple weeks ago, and I said, I have a 30-day test. I want everyone for the next 30 days, just look for the good in everything. Well, that's an example of putting attention on an intention if you practiced it. And the practice is what creates mastery. Try this, commit to it, and do it for 30 days. Watch what will happen. Listen, anybody can do anything for 30 days. I can give you to do this for 30 days. You can focus on what you want for 30 days if your why is big enough. We want our why to be through the roof. And remember, your want has to be so strong. It has to be, you have to want it just as badly as you want to breathe. I love the story from Socrates. I say it over and over again because I love this story. There was this story that a gentleman came to his house and he said, Socrates, I want to become a great philosopher like you. And he said, well, come out to my backyard. So he takes him out to the back. He had a big lake. And he says, kneel down. He grabs him by the back of the head. And if you've heard this from me before, I won't be surprised. But he grabs him and he puts his head and holds it under. He's holding it. And the story goes, the gentleman's kicking, and Socrates brings him back up. And he said, if you want to be a great philosopher like me, you have to want it just as badly as you want to breathe. And, you know, that's what my mentor told me. He said, your want has to be just as badly as you want anything in your life. And that's how creation is, because you're going to have adversities. You're going to have down days. You're going to have high days. You're going to have mid days. But the consistency of thinking in a certain way, it's not what we think, it's how we think and feel, which creates extraordinary results. Work on the reticular activating system. Don't try to work on it, and it's going to take you places you've never been. And guess what's going to happen? As you're getting better results, your self-identity is going to change. Your image is going to change. Your confidence is going to change through the doing. Practice this and watch magic start showing up in your life. Personal Google, use it for you. It's your silent partner that most people don't know about. Get it to your subconscious mind. Remember, the dominating idea in your subconscious always is going to be reflected in your results. And this is for somebody right now. If you're not getting the results you want, forget about it. Forget about what didn't work. Stay in the present moment. And remember, who you're becoming is much more important than who you've been. Like, always look forward. Design a magnificent future. Practice your disciplines. Develop a positive mental attitude. Create a kick-ass self-image. Make great decisions. Do not delay your decisions. Act on a big decision today. and your identity is going to change. And one last thing that I brought identity in, because identity is everything. We can never outperform our identity, but we can change it. You change it by the doing. And remember, your identity has been formed based on past experience. Have an amazing day. Watch this video over and over again. Get your personal Google working for you. Discipline, attitude, decision, standard, image, magical life. And remember, the more you fall in love with you, the more your life is continuing to get more, and not just better, more and more magical is what's going to happen. Thank you so much.